Hello, David Collins, ERA Beverly Hills, and today I'm going to discuss why Terra Vista Realty is the best value in the state of Florida. Before I get into specifics, I want to discuss what I call the upper end and the value corridor. Basically, if you take I-4, basically cuts the state in half. It runs from Daytona to Tampa and it cuts the state in half primarily. And most of the higher end real estate developments, planned communities are south of I-4 along the coast. Whereas the North Florida, the north part of that is considered more, in my terms, is the value corridor. But if you take a look at, with that being said, if you take a look at the weather, there's not much difference. Now, if you just go down the page, scroll down, and there's a little comparison there, if you go ahead and click that for a real in-depth thought process on the weather, you'll understand better. But, when it's all said and done, the weather's not much different. So what you want to do is find the best value. And Terra Vista is that. So the first community I want to compare Terra Vista to is Frenchman's Creek down in North Palm Beach, Florida. And you say, wow, you're crazy. That is a way upper end community and what have you. And the location's incredible. It's on the intercoastal and easy to get to the Atlantic Ocean if you're a boater. And everything I just said is absolutely correct. But here's the reason why I compared Terra Vista to a community such like Frenchman's Creek or the numerous other communities in that area and then over in the Naples, Fort Myers, Sarasota area, is because the amenities in those communities, those high-end communities south of I-4, Terra Vista's amenities are as good, if not better, than all those communities. So that's why I bring the comparison up. And when you start to look at real estate in resale values, anything that's comparable, apples to apples in Frenchman's Creek, is you're starting at $200 per square foot and moving up to $250 a square foot. Whereas anything resale value in Terra Vista, you're looking at about $125 to $150. So with the same amenities, basically the same weather, close enough to the water, and you're looking at severe differences in pricing. So that's why I bring that up, is because the amenities are so incredible. The next community I bring up, is you all know, is the Villages. Now, Terra Vista in the Villages is much different in a lot of ways, other than they're very close to each other. We're about 45 minutes difference. But the comparisons stop there in a lot of different ways. Number one is Terra Vista is a much more upscale community versus the Villages. The Villages does have all the retail components and the squares and the entertainment, what have you. But at the end of the day, when you start to look at resale values in the Villages, you're looking at $165 to $180 and above for resale per square foot resale costs, whereas Terra Vista again is $125 to $150. So you're getting a much more amenity-rich community at Terra Vista with a lot less price. So, and again, you got more elbow room, and the homes are much more upscale. So it's something to take a look at. And lastly, I take a look at Top of the World / Stone Creek in Ocala. Now, they're much closer to the retail shopping that you would do at, you use the same retail shops at Terra Vista, which is about 30 minutes from Ocala. So they're much closer to that. But their amenities aren't as nice and what have you. And when you look at their resale dollars, you're looking at roughly about $100 per square foot for resale value, whereas again, Terra Vista is more expensive, but you got a lot less traffic, a lot more distinct upscale amenities and upscale community than you would have at Top of the World. So those are the three communities I compare it to, and if you scroll down to the article, you're going to get a better sense of it, and there's some links there you can take a look at. But primarily, that's where you're at. Lastly, one I want to bring up is the overall cost of living is much less expensive north of I-4 versus south of I-4. And the reason is, number one, there's two costs that you got to look at. Number one is taxes. Basically, taxes are very simple. The more population you have, the more infrastructure and the more services you need, so the taxes are higher. Even though you have more population, it always works out that per person taxes are much higher. That simple. The fact that we don't have a lot of population here, we don't have as much, our taxes are lower. Then you look at insurance costs, okay? Again, as you get into other areas of Florida, there's three things that take into account insurance costs. You have flooding, you have hurricane risk, and you have sinkholes. Okay, now go back to flooding. We're the only community that I've compared today and any other community that we're 250 feet above sea level. So you don't have your flood component your flood insurance component in your homeowner's policy is very minuscule compared to anywhere those communities or anywhere else in Florida. The other thing is that we're at a low risk of hurricanes. If you look at down in the article, you'll see a picture of where all the main storms have hit since 150 years ago, and you notice where they all pretty much hit is South Florida and the Northeast Panhandle. So we are more low risk for hurricanes, so that's taken into account in your insurance policy. Lastly, we are devoid of or never say devoid, because anywhere in the state of Florida it can happen, and anywhere in the world it can happen, but we have many less sinkholes than any other areas in Florida. So when you take all those three components, your insurance becomes less money. And lastly, so you have less taxes, less insurance, so your cost of living is less, your real estate is less, and that's why you need to go right here. You've been scrolling down a little bit, but you got to scroll down right here. Go ahead and register. We'll start a dialogue. We'll get you over here. And if it's your cup of tea, we'll move forward. If not, I've made a friend and you've made a friend. Thank you and have a great day.